are back. It is the right side of campus. We are live on a Thursday, April 26, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, joined by my co-host, Donnie Rightside. Donnie, how you doing today?
Doing very good. Waking up early today, Jeff, surfing around the internet. All of a sudden, some interesting stuff comes up about the NFL draft that we'll get into. Who's picking at number one? Why shouldn't they pick this guy at number one? I already know the big man on campus's theory behind who should go number one. And I know right now his head is about to explode with what Adam Schefter was retweeting out, who possibly could be the number one overall pick. But welcome into the show, right side of campus. As Jeff said, it is Thursday. We'll get you going. A big sports week this week. NHL, Jeff, seems they're going to get started again. Vegas, who seems like they haven't played in 30 days, is going to tie up the skates tonight and get underway. Also, the Penguins are going to get underway. An interesting game in the NBA. Major League Baseball as always, Jeff. But hey, it's draft time. It's finally here. And before we get into that, the good people at Intertops did sponsor the show here for us at sportsbookreview.com. Great sportsbook out there. Fast payouts, great lines. But Jeff, I wanted to get into it right away with you tonight. We're going to be on 8 p.m. Eastern time, in time, Jeff, for the number one overall pick going off the board. We'll be live for at least the first 10 picks tonight, Jeff, on our draft special tonight. Looking forward to it, man.
Yep, make sure you join us tonight. We'll be on for all the picks. I don't even know if we'll be on for only the 10 pick. I'll be on past 10 picks. I'll make that clear. But yeah, join us for that. Donnie and I will recap. We'll talk. Look, it's going to be wild. There's going to be some weird picks, as we know. This first round is for the most part uncertain. I mean, even the first pick, there's a lot of things going around who will be the first pick. It's not as pronounced as in years past. You have a really good group of quarterbacks. You have some hawking defensive backs. It's a great first round. It's going to be fun. So, obviously make sure you're tuned in and we'll get you through that. I will throw out some props as well that I'm looking at. Donnie Rightside, we're coming in for a landing here, as they say. NFL draft time. But again, we are sponsored by Intertops. Make sure you're using Intertops. Make sure you check them out. One of the best sports books in the business. Great lines, great customer service, and a really nice interface. I've always liked Intertop as far as interfaces are concerned. It's sharp. It looks good. It's easy to use. Make sure you're using Intertops when you're using and needing a book. Let's, Donnie, get into our headlines and welcome everyone in. Hopefully you had a great Wednesday evening, and hopefully you have a great Thursday. We'll take you along over the next hour, and we'll recap what went on and some things that went on yesterday, and take a look at tonight as well. Make sure you're retweeting the show if you're out there. Get it to people, tell people about it. SBR is doing some good things in the business. Make sure you're sending that out and telling people about it every day. Shout out to all the people here: Matt, Greg, Michael, Matty O, Larry, Steve, Brad, Kentucky, Derek, Troy V, Guan White, Emza, B. Sham, Arthur. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Let's get into the headlines, Donnie Rightside. First of which is, look, we'll get this out of the way. I mean, look, I've said my piece on Baker Mayfield. I don't see it, and that's not going to change. I don't think he will work at the next level. I think he's a failure, and I'm willing to be quoted on that. But the consensus is the Cleveland Browns are still considering Baker Mayfield at number one, and it doesn't surprise me. This team just finds ways to screw things up. It could be a really special night for the Browns. They could vault themselves into being a team that people actually care about for once. They can address needs. They can handle business, or like always, they can continue to push the narrative that they have no idea what they're doing at the top. And from the looks of it, Donnie, looks like they're going to do that again.
I don't understand, Jeff. It's really like, look, I understand you have different rooms, different qualities, different GMs and what they look for in a player. But sometimes, isn't it all about, we talk about gambling all the time, Jeff. Sometimes there is value in the line, and sometimes there is value in taking a player. I don't believe in the philosophy that says, if he's your guy, just take him. That's not how you play cards, Jeff. I know you're a big card player. You're going to the Tropicana late one night, right? Everybody's piling in. You're settling down to the table. You get pocket aces. Do you push your entire chip base into the center before you even see any of the cards out there because you have pocket aces? It's a ludicrous move. Baker Mayfield is not the number one overall pick. He's not supposed to go number one overall. You have the one. Use it to your advantage. It doesn't make any sense to pick a quarterback who's traditionally thought throughout the NFL, maybe to go fourth or fifth in this class of overall quarterbacks, to take him number one overall. If Cleveland, Jeff, I'm glad we're doing the show live, and I hope nothing else leaks. And the number one overall pick, Cleveland Browns, on the clock. We select Baker Mayfield, and it just sets off a firestorm everywhere. No way Cleveland does this, Jeff. Is it true? No way.
Listen, I mean, I'm willing to put behind, the things that they've done in the past. And I'm willing to say, listen, I hope they're smart enough not to. But listen, the truth of the matter is, if you draft Baker Mayfield, you are going to fail. I just don't understand what these guys see that I don't. I've seen Baker Mayfield on tape. I've seen the things he's done, and he was a great college player. I'm not gonna knock that, but we will have to admit, while he was a good college player, the level of competition wasn't particularly strong. It just wasn't. And the whole notion of you're getting a player to the Big 12 is true. They don't generally work at the next level. Add in the fact that he's 6'1". Okay, he's not big, which we know. Add in the fact that he has really poor footwork in the pocket. I mean, he has limited field vision. He's physically really just not the kind of quarterback you want. And the offense that he ran was a bit, kind of systemish. Look, there's not a lot to like about the guy, frankly. I just don't see it. I don't know what I'm missing. Plus, we add in the fact that not only Donnie, that he was arrested, he ran from cops, and it's not like his arrest was it was one of the stupider things I've ever seen. He's also been reprimanded 2 or 3 different times for his immaturity. I mean, grabbing the crotch, all the different things that he's done. He's just kind of a loose cannon, and he's very similar to another similar player that went a couple years ago. Does he have an alcohol problem? No, but he has had one. What's giving him $1 million going to do to his ego? I'm not saying I don't have an ego. I definitely do. But I'm also not an NFL caliber football player that might go in the first round and number one overall. I have the
And how do you
ability
do it
to
if
be
you're
a little
Cleveland,
red.
Jeff? I mean,
No,
how do
you
you do it
can't.
from an overall perspective? Is
Can't.
you took and again, you can't say what you did in the past, you won't do it again. Like, boy, we took 2 wide receivers, we can't take another one. But didn't you go down this course with the cocky, somewhat athletic quarterback, the renegade, the smaller body type in Cleveland, and it didn't work? So you're going to run that same game plan back around again? And why would you do this to yourself if you're the Cleveland Browns overall anyway? So you say to yourself, like, look, like if we take Darnold number 1 or Josh Rosen and it doesn't work out, you're not going to be widely panned by your fan base again, because most of your fan base are going to think like, you know what, they're actually being smart, making the right decision. If they take Mayfield number 1, I can't even imagine being a Cleveland fan at this point, and you wake up in the morning and you're going, you're not going to do this to me again. We're supposed to be turning the corner. You're not going to railroad me again.
But I have to ask, I mean, at what point in NFL history has a player of this size worked? And I know people will bring up Drew Brees. He's not Drew Brees. He doesn't have that ability. He's not Drew Brees. He's a fucking certain system quarterback that's limited to have success in the NFL. It's not going to work. I don't see it. But you know what? I'm done trying to make sense of it. Like I said, I really believe the Cleveland Browns have the ability to become a really good football team after tonight, or tomorrow at the earliest. But I mean, for some reason, I have a feeling they're going to screw it up, and I ultimately feel bad for their fans who probably could do a better job than they can. We move on. We'll talk about this all day. It'll be back and forth.
Yeah.
A couple of comments here before we get into it. What do we got here? Why not Barkley number 1 and Mayfield 4? Well, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea actually. If you really like Mayfield and have to have him,
Yeah. Who'll be there at 4?
I think he'll be there. I don't know why. Listen, go with Barkley and go with Chubb. You can't do wrong there. And you're going to get 2 very good players that are going to play for you for 10 years. What What else
And
do
the
we
Drew
have? We
Brees
found
Greg brings up the Drew Brees comparison out there too to Baker Mayfield. I always like that, Jeff, because there's a needle in the head. That's like somebody saying, like, "Hey, Jeff, well, I won Powerball." That doesn't mean everybody else is going to win Powerball. And Drew
right.
Brees is a once in a generation short dominant quarterback. So we're always going to look back and say, "Well, Drew Brees worked 20 years ago as a draft pick." That's ludicrous.
Completely ridiculous. A couple comments here. Donnie found the show during my paternity leave about 8 months ago. So great. Well, thanks, Greg. That's nice of you. We have an interesting show here. It's full of fun and talk and going at each other.
Yelling.
But yeah, but I think you'll learn and get a good sports take here. I often listen to radio. I often listen to TV, and I often ask myself, how am I not on the radio? How am I not on TV? I feel like my show would be way more better than Get Up. Uh, but who am I? What's the quarterback from Oklahoma State's name? Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Best way to start my day. Followed up with sports bit. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Very nice.
Keep it on the
I remember
channel. Yes,
seeing.
keep it love on the channel.
I remember big man on campus saying Liverpool will win it a long time ago. I feel confident. Well, I'm hoping you get on it, John. Looks like they're going to the finals in the Champions League. So that'll be great. Oh, Donnie, later also, Gabriel Morency actually reminded me, and a good work by him. I want to bring up, Donnie, some of the complete, you know, air moments that Mel Kiper's had over the years. Some of the horrible takes that he's had that didn't pan out, and there are a lot of bad ones, man, which we'll get to a little later in the show. Who do I think the Jets will go with? Look, if it was my choice, I would take Josh Rosen. I think they have to take Josh Rosen, a team that has been mired in quarterback problems for a long time. Go out and get the best quarterback of the last 5 years, and I do believe that Josh Rosen is a leader. Donnie, I'll ask you before we get into our other headlines.
Yeah.
If you're a football team in the NFL, why on earth would you not want a quarterback like Josh Rosen? He's a leader. He wants the ball at the end of the football game. Do you want a guy that says, well, I don't know. I mean, I'd like the football. I guess I'll take it. Or no, give me the motherfucking football and let me win the game. Because that's what Josh Rosen's
Yeah.
going to give you. Josh Rosen's an outspoken guy. He's going to be a leader in your community. He's going to be a leader for your football team. And he's going to make sure everyone gives the same effort that they're all giving. I just don't. I feel like I'm nuts, Donnie, with this draft sometimes because I look at myself and I say, how the hell am I not a GM in the NFL? I could do a way better job than these people. This is not that difficult. It's common sense half the time.
No, but the NFL guys make it difficult, Jeff. They have 65 people in a room questioning each other over picks. When a lot of people, you don't even have to be, you don't have to break down every play Josh Rosen ever had. You could just turn the TV on and be like, you know what? Looks like he's going to be better than Baker Mayfield. You know what? Josh Allen has a really good arm, but you know what? When I watch, Allen out there play, he's going to deliver from the pocket. He's cerebral. He said off the charts there with his testing of his knowledge and also what is the Wonderlic test. But he fits the NFL prototype, Jeff. Stay in the pocket, deliver an accurate football, and he's going to know that offense inside and out. What's not to sometimes I don't understand. Like, I don't even understand where they come from. It used to be always like if you were an NFL team, you wanted the Raiders in front of you. Like if you were picking 6 and the Raiders were 5th, you knew the Raiders would fuck the draft pick up, right? I don't know what half these NFL teams go through. And just hearing Baker Mayfield could be the number 1 pick, it just made my day because now it gets that whole ball rolling into tonight where we laugh at NFL GMs and especially the Browns.
Yeah, amazing. We'll get to more here as the show goes on. Let's get into some other things here, Donnie. The balls are back home. LeVar decided that they're moving. It's time to leave Lithuania. And look, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, if you watch that reality show they have, the coach of that team is a complete moron. For whatever reason, he doesn't play the kids. He doesn't play them together. There was an agreement that they would play together. And look, the team's bad, Donnie. I don't know if you know, but the team's really bad. I mean, they're like 8-25. They're not in a particularly great situation. Look, I think they did what they had to do. They come back home. Who knows what they do now? I don't know what they do. I don't know if they go back to Europe and go somewhere else. But it's the same saga with the balls. I mean, it's you do something, you get in the news, you go out of the news for a while. We hadn't heard from LeVar Ball, Donnie, in several months. People were kind of thinking, okay, maybe LeVar's you're doing his own thing now. Balls are back home. Donnie, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
if you had to guess, now there's 60 players that get drafted, and then there are about 10 or 15 that go undrafted and get picked up. What is the chance that LiAngelo Ball is one of them?
Well, I don't know what the chance like maybe if you pick him up and he gets a chance to run on like your G League team, because let's not forget about the NBA overall, Jeff. Is it not a business? And when you're running in the G League there, you don't even get like you're printed ads where it says like you won the game or below like, youth grade, 7th and 8th grade basketball. So whatever you do to elevate yourself from the 10th page, maybe up to the 5th page, you would do it. Why would you not bring him into a G League team if you are a businessman in the G League? Because it's going to bring cameras that you would never ever get in a million years. I can like the Sixers are called the Blue Coats now, I guess, in the G League, which they're switching things up. I couldn't name you outside like the Lakers Modesto team. I don't even know what they're called. Another team in the G League, Jeff, and they're playing a decent brand of basketball. From a business standpoint, I put them on my G League team just because I might get a camera in the gym once in a while.
Yeah, and I don't really understand this Lithuanian team. I don't really understand the thought process behind what you're doing here. I mean, you made this marketing campaign. Now, if you go on their Twitter, in their bio, Donnie, it doesn't say, "Hey, we run this, we run that." It actually says Leangelo and Lamelo are on this team. Like that's what it says in their bio. They're dependent on those two to do something, and they have. I mean, I don't understand the thought process behind. Okay, let's get him here, but we're going to sit him on the bench the whole time. I mean, it just doesn't make any. I don't get the thought process. I don't know why you're doing it, and I don't know what you think's going to happen now. But Lithuanian, that team will go back to being something no one cares about, and you know, look, LeVar did what he had to do, and then comes back, and we'll see what happens from here. But uh, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you give him a shot on a G League team, summer league team. He's gonna have to do it himself. I don't know if it. I don't see it. Maybe as a spot up shooter. I don't know. I just haven't seen enough of him at the higher levels to really warrant it. The other one, I think he can. We'll see what happens. Donnie, Marvin Harrison in the news
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Marvin Harrison is, I think, really at this point, Donnie, just a guy that I think we have to accept is a pretty bad individual. This is how, though, Donnie, as far as hood law, this is what happens in the hood. Okay, if you don't pay rent, you might have somebody come at you with a bat. It's just the truth of the matter. Okay, I mean, you maybe should pay your rent on time, but this is not the guy. And Marvin Harrison just, I think, at this point just doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he's in the news. He doesn't care if he's looked at negatively. In his neighborhood, nobody fucks with him, and you don't fuck with him here. This is not the first time Marvin Harrison's been in the news, as we know. Marvin Harrison beat a murder rap, although many believe he actually did do it.
Yeah.
He was involved in another shooting. Donnie, Marvin Harrison's just that guy in the hood that you don't fuck around with. And I don't know if this guy did it in mistake. I don't know. Keep in mind, Marvin Harrison, a Hall of Famer, an NFL caliber, high level wide receiver. I mean, he was a Super Bowl champion. Um, what are your thoughts on his behavior lately?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was one of the best, wide receivers of all time. Obviously, as you said, at Hall of Famer, made a ton of money, but he's always been an interesting character, Jeff. Even back on his Colts days, like if you ask any one of his teammates, never was one to celebrate, never was one to hang out with the team, never one to answer any questions with the media. Sort of a reclusive type of guy. So it's almost like a surprise when you first hear about it, like when he retires and comes back to Philadelphia. Marvin Harrison, like a murder. An attempted murder plot or whatever it was there would have popped up like Marvin Harrison. The more you see the leaks out there, now this stuff slowly leaks over the years that there's a little bit of a screw loose in Marvin Harris's head, and it's one of the guys you would least expect it from the way he carried himself on an NFL field.
I think he's just a guy, like I said, that you know, just doesn't want to be fucked around with. And look, I didn't see him go nuts in this guy. I kind of just said, look, what's up with the money, and whatever. But yeah, this is an interesting story. And Marvin Harrison just seems like that hood doer that just like, you know,
I'll do
he's
it
not gonna
myself.
fuck.
Like he doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't even have like side like hey guys, I need you three guys to go over there and rough somebody up for the rent. He's
no.
just like I don't need anybody. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, and look, I will admit, like, I feel like, in a different life, I think a lot of people would react the way Marvin Harrison does. Most people would just say, okay, well, I'll just go to the district magistrate and get them evicted. Well, I just don't think Marvin Harrison operates like that. I think he's old school. I think he says, you know what, you don't pay my rent. You're a man. Come deal with me in real life. And I don't really know how that's going to fix it because if he's in the hospital with bat wounds to the face, I don't know how he's going to pay your rent. But I never really understood that because like it's not like so if you come at me with a bat, am I more likely to have the money? I still don't have the money. What do you want me to do? But yeah, look, Harrison's a lethal individual at this point, and you have to wonder, Donnie, is he does he belong on the street? He seems like a bit of a loose cannon that could be an effect to other citizens. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong here, but
yeah, it's I don't know, it's one of those
it's
guys because I know like most people that have that money, Jeff, they invest in like condominiums in like South Beach or buy up some Bitcoin or invest in a tech company. Like Marvin Harrison reinvest in like the hood, like corner bars and I guess like low
yeah.
level renting and just trying to be like that. I don't want to say slumlord, but hey, if that house is going to cost me $15,000 to buy and I can rent it out, I'm going to do it. Like, hey, Marvin, that's a rough neighborhood. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. So he's the opposite type of guy. But you could see like what, Jeff, maybe in 5 or 10 years, like a road rage incident or like a bad deal went down. I told you I'd give you 15 grand for your row house, and now you're reneging on it, and I'm going to come after you for money. I could see it happening.
I mean, he's a bit of a hood legend, though. You have to admit, Donnie. I mean, other than the various run-ins with killing people and
Yeah,
not
other than
being
that.
a professional football player, he is arguably someone that you would kind of want to be like when you grow up. I mean, kind of a do-it-yourselfer, let's say. He doesn't take any shit. People know the deal. And hey, Donnie, I bet going forward, people that rent off him, they won't not pay their rent. I'm sure they'll always get their rent on time.
Yeah, just like
So
you, I mean, you bring it back up to like the early Rocky days where Rocky goes down to the shipyard and the guy doesn't have the money and he's supposed to break his thumb. So the guy says, "Look, I'll wrap my hands up so you break it. You could tell everybody you broke my thumb." Street credibility, Jeff, has a lot to do with visuals. As Gazzo said, "I'm gonna pay you. You got to do what I do, Rock. They're not gonna respect me." Same thing.
good point. Listen, sometimes you got to set a precedent, Donnie, as they say. Um,
Yeah.
quite like the one that might be set by me. Um, if I see any of you in real life that talk shit to me, I'll have to set the precedent once, and then people won't fuck with me anymore. So watch out. Don't get in my way. Don't let me see you in real life. Um, landlord where you're waiting at in the cut with a basement. Yeah, listen, Cal 77, you got to set the precedent, bro. I'm sure no one will renege now on rent. They will definitely pay going forward. So I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Donnie, let's move on.
Hmm.
This last one here, you
Yeah.
you added this one in. I don't know what is this one.
These are my favorite ones there. Yeah. So did the checks clear? So let's rewind in like society and values of people with a lot of money getting messing around with crazy girls and crazy girls wanting revenge and just out of control guys. This deals with Reuben Foster and David Irving, Jeff, who within the last 24 to 48 hours, mysteriously, the girls have redacted everyone, or redacted and retracted, I should say, their stories on I wasn't beat up. I'm sorry I called the police. Even though I have bruises all over my body, I did this to myself. This guy did not do it. So when I always like to say the check cleared, where when they settle down and realize I'm just a hood rat, I'm not going to get anything out of this. He's going to go to jail. At least if he comes back to life in the NFL and is able to get a paycheck, I will be broken off of something. I'm sorry if you beat me up and I let you beat me up, but if you're still going to get paid, I will retract that story out there. Did the check clear, Jeff? David Irving, big money guy. Reuben Foster, big career ahead of him. Both females now saying, I completely lied to police, which brings me to this next thing, Jeff. That's a serious consequence in society. So if they're still going to stay with their girls there, would you like the police to come in and be like, all right, who's telling the truth? Did you lie about that he hit you and gave you bodily harm? Okay, you did. That's 15 years in jail, no parole. Let's go. I'm going to take you out of the house. Do you think that would be better to have happen, Jeff? Or can women or anybody just go around and make false claims all over the place, knowing there's absolutely no downside to doing it, except if he is leaving me, I get to ruin his career?
Yeah, and this is why listen, I'm not going to go down this road. I don't want to say anything I shouldn't, but yeah, look, I mean, she should be arrested for false statements. Then, I mean, she wasted the police's time. Look, I've made it clear I'm not pro police whatsoever. I wouldn't call the police. I don't really have a need to ever call them. And I've been on record as saying I don't really have any need to ever call the cops. What do I have to call the cops for? As Cameron said, Donnie, is there ever a good time to call the cops? No, or talk to the cops? Yeah. I mean, say hello, how you feel, that kind of thing. But other than that, I don't really see the need to it. In this situation, though, what you're doing is bastardizing everyone else that is actually, a victim of domestic violence. You're laughing at them in their face and saying, you know what, I'm going to make this stuff up, or I'm going to put on a show here, or I'm going to. This is, you know, certain women. I mean, I don't know what happened here. I'm sure it actually did happen, and she's just trying to protect the guy. But at the end of the day, she should be arrested for false statements then, because she provided false testimony to the cops, wasted their time, and if it's true, well, then she's just a stupid individual, and what can you really do? I mean, you can't make her leave. But yeah, I mean, she just, she saw her golden goose going away, and she's not gonna have any more money anymore for anything she wants to do, and she wants a new car, and she sees the golden goose going away. So hey, well, he didn't really hit. I was just kidding. It didn't really happen. Even though I had bruises on my face, I'm just gonna be stupid and just stay around because hey, at the end of the day, he pays me. I'm good with that. I'll trade a little bruising for pay. I'll get beat up, even though I'm not in the UFC and I should be getting beat up. Yeah, it's a shame. She should be arrested.
No, it's the story always comes up because if somebody's in the heat or the emotion of a moment, right, and the cops come out to your house, and you're like, you know what, the hell with this guy, I'm just going to tell him right now that he beat me up. Usually within like 15 minutes, when Reuben Foster, whoever, has cuffs on and is in the back seat of a car, that the woman might break down and say, look, I actually just lied about that. Like, I just wanted to see him get talking to, because I think it came up in DeAndre Francois at Florida State, where they had a physical altercation or whatever it was, and she just wanted the cops to scare him a little bit, so either A, he wouldn't do it again, or she was just mad at him at the time. But it's very rare, Jeff, where you get beat up and like 2 weeks go by and then you say, you know what, I was wrong. That means like lawyers reached out, or somebody reached out and said, we will break you off with $750,000 cash, tax-free, if you sign this and say he did nothing to you. And a lot of people look at that and go, that's a lot of money. All right, so what? He only beat me up one time. Maybe I'll just stay away from him, where he can continue his career, so I'll make sure I get paid. It's amazing what money will do to some people.
Yeah, I mean, you really turn people into other,
Yeah.
totally different people. You throw out all your values, your morals, and the ethics that you did have. You throw them out because hey, money's king. Listen, um, not sure it's how I would live my life, but yeah, I mean, it's a shame. It really is. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's women that are being used by men, and they're stupid enough to continue to fall for it. It's a shame. Let's move on to the NBA. A interesting night last night. Four different games, and many
Mhm.
of them were interesting. We start out in Cleveland, where the Cavs get a big win. LeBron is king. We all know that. Listen, I mean, I'll start by saying this. LeBron's obviously been in our lives for a long time. He's the face of sports. Um, Listen, I can't say I've always been pro LeBron. I mean, at some points he's an unlikable guy. The decision, some of his antics, but when you really pull back the curtain and look at his whole career, what he's done, the dominance that he's had, the philanthropy, all the different things that he's done. Look, if you're still hating on LeBron at this point, you're just a fucking idiot. I mean, you don't know anything, and you shouldn't talk about sports ever again. If you hate on him, you're just like all But again, I mean, someone could cure cancer, and someone would find a way on Twitter to hate on them. It doesn't surprise me, but Donnie, LeBron at this point is just. I mean, what do you really say about the guy?
Jeff, I'm old. I'm a curmudgeon, and you know me better than anybody. I love to hate. Give me one reason to hate, right? And I will hate on you immediately as a pro athlete. LeBron James is the one guy throughout his career, Jeff. I don't have it. Like, I could see if your point of view was, I can't believe he left Cleveland because he couldn't win in Cleveland. And then to top it off, he went on a show and didn't tell Cleveland, just bounced down to Miami. Even though he raised, what, millions of dollars on that show for the youth of Akron, or his hometown, or Cleveland. That didn't miss. And then he goes and he wins titles. And then it's that whole, like, because he sort of has that momentum coming up. When you look at LeBron James, I don't know how you can argue, maybe the single best athletic specimen that we've ever seen in the history of the world is LeBron James at this point. Body type, is able to stay healthy, play this long, and looks like he's still at the peak after 15 or 16 years in the NBA. What is the hate on about LeBron James? When I get back to the point where I'm 40 years old, there's a lot of people in my age bracket and a little bit higher, like 45, that it doesn't matter what LeBron James does. He's never going to surpass Michael Jordan, like Michael Jordan's the end all be all. Jordan's a great basketball player. You can have that argument all day long, but they hate on LeBron James, how much good he does in the community. He stays out of trouble from, in the spotlight here, doesn't womanize, doesn't, have 15 kids, with 15 different baby mamas, puts people through college in Akron, what, 100, 150 kids or whoever wants it goes to Akron public schools, you're going to be guaranteed a scholarship. He does a lot of really good things and is a role model. If you are a parent and you're raising kids, especially in that limelight, he seems like a pretty good father figure at this point. And there is no better player in the world right now than LeBron James. But yeah, you're right, Jeff. No matter what he does and puts his team on his back, LeBron's not clutch. LeBron can't do this. LeBron doesn't have these titles. Give it up, man. For real.
Here's the issue, though, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not LeBron. It's the rest of the team. They're going to continue to buy time, and they'll probably win this series. But it's hard to envision that he can just continue to perform this way the whole time. I mean, someone else is going to have to step up at some time because, look, at some point, the team's going to get more difficult. At some point, teams are going to get better. There has to be more, cohesiveness. I mean, look, he scored what, 45 last night? How many points did they have? Like 98 or whatever it was? I mean, he scored literally half their points, and they still almost lost. I mean, by the way, Donnie, goaltending on that last play, Oladipo, that was a goaltend. And the fact that it wasn't reviewed.
That might be the toughest call in sports, though. Bang bang play like that, don't you think? Though that's so hard to
Yeah, but
judge.
it hit the backboard.
I don't think you can review it though. That's a problem.
That's my problem. Why can that not be reviewed? Like, that's not an important player or anything. And then Nate McMillan, I'm not sure why he didn't foul there. I mean, he had a foul to give. What, with 3 seconds of, why are you allowing LeBron to spot up? I don't get that.
It is. You're right. And again, I see finally a lot of people coming around to my viewpoint, which I guess we've always been there, Jeff. I'll never understand in the NBA, and I'm so thankful, Jeff, that in college basketball they don't allow this because it takes out, if you're a really good basketball team and play well, why should you get rewarded and teleported 65 feet into the front court to get a last-second jumper? Like, do you deserve, like, I guess it's manufactured fun for TV. What is it? I can't think of a worse penalty. Like if you pull up from 3 down 2 with 4 seconds to go and drill it, the other team calls a timeout, and then they actually have the advantage to beat you, even though you did your job on the opposite side of the court. It's pretty funny, man.
I think when that was reenacted, I think the goal was basically to create more energy late in games. I mean, it does help the end of the game. I mean, a lot of the time, you look at it in college and they don't do it. I mean, a lot of the time the plays are just intercepted and the game is over. It does create more intrigue late in the games, and I don't have a big problem with it. I think it's kind of cool, especially when you have like last night, I had Indiana +6, and I really didn't want to go to overtime with that ticket, so I was just kind of happy that it ended there and they get 60 feet. I was good with that. But definitely some interesting comments here in the chat. I'm not even going to address this one comment. I can't even believe it was said, but we'll leave that one. Listen, if you've looked at the comments over the last 3 minutes, you could probably know what I'm talking about here. It's really a dumb comment. I can't even believe it.
Jordan?
But nah, keep going up.
You have to give me a hint here.
Someone said Kevin Durant is the best player in the league.
Nah, come on.
Come on, man. You can't be serious. Now we're just saying stuff to say it.
Although, Jeff, there was and don't you remember the other split faction against LeBron, where before LeBron won, everybody said they would rather have Durant on their team than LeBron, just for the pure hatred of it. Howard Eskin in our town, most people don't listen to the radio. He's always one of those big proponents on hating LeBron. No matter who had a good night, he would tell you that they would rather have them than LeBron. There's no reason to hate on LeBron, and you'll miss him when he's gone because it's going to be a long time before you see somebody like that.
Oh, you're totally right. Totally right. OKC, the Thunder escape, and for one more day, they're safe. Why wouldn't I address it, Rich? I don't like you. I've made that clear. I'm not going to address you on my show. The comment was stupid. It doesn't make any sense, and you're just a hater. You're hating on LeBron for whatever reason. You think Kevin Durant's a better player. That's a stupid comment, and I'm not going to put up with it. And none of us are going to either. We're going to call you out. You come on the show and say stuff like that, we're going to call you out for it. You don't like it? Sorry. That's what we do here. You say stuff like that, you obviously want an opinion. You want us to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Donnie, let's talk about it. Kevin Durant's not better than LeBron. I just
No,
don't see
great
it.
player.
Can you
Great player, though.
exactly. And I'm not going to say he's not. He's probably the third best
Harden's
player,
great
but he's
player.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really, really good players in the NBA, but you got a transcendent one that, again, it doesn't even matter who's around them. Forget the payroll that Cleveland has. It doesn't even matter. Like, you could just put LeBron, like, what were the days where he was coming up back in the day? What, 21, 22, 23? Who was this? Like, Booby Miles, or isn't Booby Miles? How about that? Booby Gibson and company. I mean,
Yes.
he's
Right.
carried trash cans to the NBA
Right.
Finals, man.
Yeah, complete bums. Listen, I'm not gonna start trouble with the guy. This guy's been bothering me for months now. He comes in here for just to be a dick a lot of the time. Listen, Rich, you want to bury the hatchet? I'm more than happy to do so. You want to keep coming in here being an asshole to me? I'm gonna be an asshole to you. You come in here, you say hello to Donnie, like I'm not even fucking here. Be a man, say hello. And if not, shut the
We got to
fuck
break
up and get
bread.
the fuck out of here.
We got to break
Right.
bread. I think he said he loved you though early in the show though, Jeff. I think there
No,
was
he should no, that
a
that
tagline
that's
out there.
that's the same guy that's an asshole to me all the fucking time. I mean, that's just what he is. He comes in here like a fucking telephone tough guy on the internet talking shit. Listen, man the fuck up or get the fuck out of the kitchen, bro. I mean, you come in here like a little fucking baby, calling me out, trying to be funny. Like, dude, either get out of the kitchen or say what's up. I'm done with this back and forth bullshit. Like, you say hello to me, yet on the Twitter, you're calling me a fake and a phony, and I'm not a real dude. Like, get out of here with that, man. Like, I don't got time for that shit. I don't got time for that flip flop shit, man. Um, either you're in or you're out. I'm cool with dropping the hatchet, but you want to be a flip flommer, that's cool. Do your thing. I'm not gonna put up with it though. Um, let's move on here. Donnie, get to Russell Westbrook because I know you want to. Get to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Obviously,
I actually went to bed. I was surprised they won because I went to bed early, as I always do typically when I don't have any action in play. But I was watching the OKC game. They were down a good, 10, 15 points at the half. I'm actually surprised they won that game. I didn't catch the second half, but I did see Westbrook's numbers, which is no surprise. 45 points did he take? I'm sure he probably took close to 45 shots to get the 45 points, but they're going nowhere at this point. Paul George, just don't get hurt. You're close, man. You are one game away from heading out to La La Land, getting all the money in the world, going back home as a conquering hero, and try to rebuild that LA Lakers brand. So don't get hurt on this one. One more game to go, and then Westbrook can have his old team back. Maybe they can even trade Carmelo Anthony away, and he can have everybody gone. So it's just him and Steven Adams. So Steven Adams can block out and let him get all the rebounds that he wants. It's close. We got one more game to go.
Donnie, I want to make this clear, and I think you'll agree. Well, maybe you won't. I don't know what you really think about. I know you don't like Westbrook, but here's my thing with him. He doesn't seem like he understands. And look, I know they won last night, and we're kind of eating our words in a way because I think we've all said that Russell Westbrook won't win in OKC until he decides that he wants to understand and adhere to the rules of the NBA. But the way he plays, it's just not going to work. He's not going to ever win a championship with the way he plays. He was
Yeah.
great last night, and he's probably just delaying the inevitable for one more game because I don't think they can go into Utah and win. I mean, they've made that clear. At the end of the day, I just think Russell's a great player. He's an explosive guy. He's one of the most dominating players in the league. When it comes to being dominating, can you take a game over and no one can stop you? I don't think Russell can be stopped. I think he's one of the true individuals in the NBA that can't be guarded. The problem is it only works for so long. He's got to be. Look at James Harden. I mean, James Harden had a great series to still won it fairly easily because other people stepped up. Last night they all stepped up, but you look at did they all really step up during that run they had? Paul George and Westbrook. Those are the only two that did anything. There just needs to be more. I don't know if I see it with him. He's a great player, but Donnie, let me ask you: you think they win
Yeah.
this series?
Oklahoma City? No, no. It's hard. Look, Utah's a really good basketball team. You're asking them to win what, 3 straight games over Utah, and one of those is going to be in Utah. I don't think that's the case. And again, Westbrook went off. It's one of those games where we laughed at Dwayne Wade. Like, hey, as long as Dwayne Wade doesn't reincarnate himself and drop 30 on the Sixers, the Heat aren't going to win. So I would assume that Westbrook would have to go for 45 plus for them to win another basketball game and do it on the road. I don't think he has 3 of those in him, so I don't think they're going to win the series.
Yeah, me either. Amazing run though. I mean, that run was among the best I've seen. You don't see that very often. I mean, it was 71-46 at one point. That's impressive stuff. Rockets get the win. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. Toronto gets a big win as well at home. Hard to bet against them in that situation there at home. Raptors, I think we'll move on. I think they'll close the series out and finally get a win against Washington and win that series. Rockets, Donnie, moving on, even though Harden didn't play that well.
No, yeah. The only surprising thing in that series to me, Jeff, is that they didn't actually sweep that series, but they finally came on strong. And it's nice to see if top guys aren't firing on all cylinders, still able to move past. That was a 1 versus an 8. It's going to get a lot tougher in the West, but that was good to see. Also, the Raptors, was anybody surprised that the Raptors were able to hold on, even though it looked a little bit dicey there in the fourth quarter if you watch that basketball game. I know a lot of people in Toronto had their eyes focused on another loss from the Maple Leafs in Game 7 versus the Boston Bruins. But, Toronto's a good basketball team. We'll see as it goes on. But you're getting that storm, Jeff. Now that the Sixers are sitting back waiting here, all of a sudden that national tide, Jeff, starting to turn and roll downhill where people are saying the Sixers are the best team in the Eastern Conference, when for years they lampooned us over here saying, the process is never going to work. Now you're seeing those same guys that said it won't work to say, watch out, Sixers could be in the finals.
Kudos to my boy Molly Mall for taking Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is the bad boy team in the league, the disobedience team. They only come to play on their backs against the wall. Well, that's not a good thing to do. I wouldn't do that on a regular basis. Why not just take advantage of the situation, win a couple games, and then
they were favored last night, right?
Right. I didn't start the negativity. Never do. You've just been brainwashed. Rich, it's 7:40 in the morning where you live, and you're actually on here for what? Go hang out with your other boy. You go on that show. That's your place. We don't want this negativity on here, Rich. I mean, get out of here. We have fun without you here. We don't need you adding to the party with your caps lock and you being. We don't need that here. Go away. Go away from us. We don't want you here. You're annoying. It's 7:40. Go take a rest. Go get some sleep, pal. I mean, you've been up Twitter fingering all night. Go get some sleep. Donnie, it's early. It's way too early for that kind of behavior, isn't it?
Let's break bread. We need to break. We're going to have big man sit down. We're going to break bread with different listeners out there. Let's see if we can
tried it
broker
with this.
deals, Jeff.
No, I've tried it.
Can we broker deals? Can we get people on here to broker deals of goodwill for us, Jeff?
Listen, I've tried it with this guy. I've tried it. I've tried it before.
Rick,
Donnie doesn't like you either.
Down with the big man.
Sorry.
Can we get you to sit down with the big man and break bread here on the right side?
Donnie. That window is past. Rich is just a hater. Keep in mind, Rich was the one.
Was there ever any bread? Did we ever try to break bread behind the scenes before? Like, was there ever somebody reaching out?
I don't do that.
Man,
I do that. I want it on camera. I want to make this clear. We've tried that before with this guy. And he doesn't come in. Now all of a sudden he's back in and loves everybody here. Dude, you've been like this for months. This is not true. I remember you came in here a couple months ago and you're talking about I sue people and stuff. That was what you brought up. Like, what? How do you sue people? How do I sue? What does that mean? I sue people. I remember you came in here and said that. That was your comeback. I sue people. I mean,
he did have a class action lawsuit against me, Jeff. So he is right about that.
Yes, good point. We actually lost. I actually had to relinquish it. You won. Yes. I've asked the guy to break bread. He wants to come in here and with his caps lock and act tough. But Rich, remember, you were the one that emailed me initially trying to get me to put you on and give your name out there and talk how great you were and you were the NBA king. We can put them emails out there if you really want to, Rich.
Yeah, Jeff Slaughter says old-fashioned sit-down at a mutual place like Southtown 101.
Great. Rich says I talk rumors about him. I don't even know you. What do you mean I talk rumors about you? I don't know you. I don't care about you, Rich. Believe me, I sleep well at night without knowing you. I don't need to know you. I don't want to know you. I have no interest in knowing you. I'm making this clear. I don't care about Rich, and I'm not going to talk about him. Not that I ever did. I don't know Rich. Move on, Rich. You know, I mean, what do you want from me here? You want me to call you out and tell you that you're the best? I don't know you like that, bro. All I see is you being a little prick. That's what I see. Now let's move on. We're wasting time here. Let's get into the MLB, Donnie, because we're spending way too much time on this guy.
Yeah, let's go quick. Let's go quick. Little quick recap yesterday. Mad Max gets some runs to say the least yesterday. Boy, when you're a starting pitcher, it's nice to get backed up by double-digit run support, especially when you probably really only need 2 to 3 to runs each and every night. Mad Max with a nice performance there. Talked about it yesterday, Jeff. Big stretch. After leaving yesterday on the roundtable, going over 3 with Arizona, 4 with Pittsburgh, and 3 with the Phillies. Nice to get a victory there. We'll see how that carries over, but they got some ground to make up in the NL East with the Mets and the Phillies. We'll see if they can get started on the groundwork. I'm not so supportive right now of the Nationals, though.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely weren't, and neither was I. I mean, this offense does not look good, and they hadn't looked good. But hey, they busted out yesterday, so they gave Scherzer some runs. What was they say? Max Scherzer got 15 runs. Impressive stuff. Finally, get him some run support. Yeah, they're going to need a lot more of those kind of games. Big win for the Nats and a lot of runs, which let's hope it can continue. They need to get consistent there.
No, you're right about it. And also looking at Kershaw's a big favorite, Jeff. How many times do we see this, right? The more outlandish the number, the more times it seems to me, Jeff, that the underdog actually covers that. I just had like a side eye on that game. Kershaw's in a little bit of trouble early, wiggled out. I'm like, look at that. They'll probably end up doing their Dodger thing, 3-0, 3-1 win as it goes over. And I believe it was Miguel Rojas, a 3-run blast, where totally woke me up like they're really going to win and get this huge dog cover. Kudos if you had the Marlins yesterday just because you wanted to take a flyer, but shame on you if you had run line Dodgers, parlay Dodgers, money line Dodgers, team total Dodgers. Good luck on that one, man.
I mean, 6 walks. He's continuing to struggle, Donnie, as a big favorite. And I love the New York Post, Donnie. New York Post always with quality reporting. I mean, you look at their tweet today, or their article today. Ex-substitute teacher outpitches Kershaw in Marlins
Yeah.
win. Now, keep in mind, Trevor Richards worked as a substitute teacher. He worked at a brewery just to make ends meet. He's now taking advantage and beating Clayton Kershaw. What a world.
Yeah, there was a guy last year, Jeff? Was it the Oakland A's, who he was just a stay-at-home dad and just said, hey, you want to pitch a couple innings for us? And he did it. Dreams come true in Major League Baseball and bad teams, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is the Marlins find ways to make young men's dreams come true everywhere. They might not be worth it. They might not be worthy of being in the MLB, but hey, they're good enough for the Marlins.
Yeah. Next on, Jeff, Yanks hitting, waking up. I said it all along. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, Jeff, I still believe is going to end up with 45-plus home runs in the Bronx. You're going to get what you get with his strikeouts, but he's built to hit home runs with his swing plane, Jeff, going up in the air. We'll see what takes place. But there's one guy you can't deny right now. Can you think about a bet? And how about this? I believe it happened twice, didn't it, with Gene Segura and Didi Gregorius? For some reason, Jeff, Arizona Diamondbacks don't like decent shortstops, do they?
No, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, Gene Segura is a great player. I don't know what that didn't work out. But yeah, I don't know. They for some reason they just keep fucking that up. But no, a big win for the Phillies last night. Phillies continue to play well. A big home run from Aaron Altair. You know, I know the people aren't going to the games, and the stands have been pretty weak. And where are the fans at, Donnie? All the Philadelphia fans. What happened? Where'd they go?
It's cold and it's rainy every single night here. It doesn't even matter, Jeff,
Yeah.
if the day starts out like 80 degrees. It's going to be like 54 and rainy by the time it gets out. Those crowds will build, but also you have to remember in Philadelphia, I mean, a lot of people are going to be watching the Sixers at this point, and most people, Jeff, the Phillies aren't getting a lot of headlines here. Even though you ask the normal person around town right now, Jeff, where the Phillies are, they don't even know what their record would be if they're doing well or not, which is amazing because they're playing really good baseball, but nobody's looking right now. City is pretty one-track mind right now, Jeff, on the Sixers. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the other night there was no one there. Let's get into today's action, Donnie. What do we got on the card?
Let's see what we got here. Shot it down. The Rays and the Orioles, Jeff. Let's bring up some good people. And again, keep in mind, we're going to be using the odds today from Intertops, the good people of Intertops, sponsoring sportsbookreview.com and also the right side of campus, Jeff. So as we bring it up, the Rays and the Orioles will go over first here. Pitching matchups, Archer versus Bundy. Through 53% of those tickets, Jeff, are going on the home team with Dylan Bundy. Line opened up at 138, 130 across the board. Intertops now showing, Jeff, minus 122, plus 112 split. Over under. Seems a little bit low in Baltimore, but then again, Baltimore's not hitting a 7.5 at Camden Yards, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me Baltimore would be a favorite over Chris Archer, I would tell you you're nuts. But Dylan Bundy's been a ray of sunshine for the Orioles. He's been not the only one that has come to pitch for this group this year. The only problem is he's 2-3. They don't give him when you have a bad team behind you, it's hard to get wins as a major league pitcher. It's a shame because Dylan Bundy's actually been very good. I'd probably look under the number. I have a feeling that Chris Archer is going to pitch pretty well. The problem is he doesn't have a lot of success against Baltimore. You look at his career; he's 5-7 with a 5 ERA. That's a bit of a concern. But this lineup will make anyone look good. I'm wanting to think Chris Archer will get back to the old Chris Archer today and maybe throw a bit of a gem. Dylan Bundy, he's been able to do it seemingly every time he starts. Might be a sneaky under here in Camden Yards. Weather's getting a bit better, but this
Yeah.
Baltimore Oriole team is dead last in on-base percentage. They're second worst in the league in batting average. They just continue to struggle from the plate. A first 500 might be worth the best look here. Avoid those bullpens because these bullpens at times can have some trouble.
Jeff, afternoon action, hey, look, if you're looking for something to do before your parlay bets on the draft tonight and how much money you're going to waste on drafting and who's going to go first, who's going to go second, are there going to be 15 running backs taken in the first, 2 rounds of the draft? Whoever knows what those, Jeff, you have a better option today. You can put your money on Homer Bailey, 12:35 Eastern time, Jeff, 9:01, 9:02 on the rotation. 68% are saying, I'm not putting my money currently right now down on the Cincinnati Reds. They're going with the Atlanta Braves. Jeff Newcomb, the lefty on the mound, opened up at Pinnacle 113, Chris at 119, but Intertops, Jeff, with some movement here, minus 137. So it looks like the public is saying my money is right here on the Atlanta Braves. Over under across the board, Jeff, at 9. Intertops currently sitting the under at minus 105, so half juice on that one. Is Homer Bailey going to resurrect himself today, Jeff, and take that plus money here for the lowly Reds?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, the Reds are again. We have to remember are what are they? 5-19. They don't win very often. And Sean Newcomb's actually been pretty good, frankly. I mean, this Braves team's getting better. They're hanging around. They're playing well. Ronald Acuna, guys like that. This young team, they're not flashy. There's not a lot of big names that anyone knows about. But they're still winning games, playing well. I don't believe in the Reds. You look at it in 2 road starts. Newcomb's ERA is under 2. He's been very effective. And I don't believe this Homer Bailey stuff. This nonsense will end quickly. Only a 130 favorite against Homer Bailey. I don't mind taking a shot there. Keep in mind, Reds bullpen as well, Donnie. 5.34 ERA, and at home it's
Yeah.
up above 6. So,
Damn.
yeah, I'm probably looking Braves. I think early on, it's never a bad thing. A little matinee baseball bet against Homer Bailey. Beautiful life.
All right, Jeff, looks like we only have a couple minutes left of the show here. 200 people have woken up out of their stupor, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, wherever you are, or even around the world, even earlier than that. We appreciate you guys waking up with us, but we do have some interesting stuff. We want to slide down that bar.
Hey,
We
Donnie,
know what tonight is, right? What's up?
keep in mind, it's 10:52 in the morning. Okay, for the lay person out there, some parts of the United States, it's 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. We're pushing weight with people that are, we're getting in markets that people are still
Get
asleep.
up.
They come to watch this show.
Get
Listen,
up.
it's not always pretty. It's not always great. I'm not gonna kiss your ass for attention. One thing I will do, we're gonna give you a fun show. We know what we're talking about. We have fun here. We'll throw in a couple plays, and I'm about to give you some draft picks that are gonna make you fucking money. It's just how it goes. Either you're on them or you're not. I can't make you do it. But we shout out SPR today. We appreciate the platform. Um, okay. Major Keeler. The best cappers in this chat are the ones that provide value and give winners or
Yes.
help elevate other
Ah.
cappers. Listen, let me tell you something.
Ah.
Let me tell you, I'll elevate any capper. If you're doing well, good for you. But I can't in a business, Donnie, where reputation's important, it's hard for me to just put my name on something and say that guy's good. We're willing to create a platform for you. If you want to come on our show and give out picks, I'm willing to put together competition where the best capper wins something. I'd love to do that. But I'm not going to put my name. I don't know you guys enough to handicap. I appreciate you listening to me. I will gladly give you a fantastic show every day. But it's not my job to put you on. No one put me on. I try to put myself on, and I did that. I got relevant, and people listen to me, and people care. Not that many, but people do care about me. My dad always told me, listen, Jeff, I can give you anything you want. You want a great life? I'll give it to you. But I brought you into this world. I can't live in it with you. You have to live in it on your own. I'm not going to just go to someone and say, hey, listen, I'm putting you on, bro. Doesn't work like that. I didn't get put on like that, and I'm not going to do it to anyone else. Prove that you're good. People will see it. Donnie, you know that. I mean, what did you start out with any? Did you buy followers? You worked. You worked. People got to know who you were, and now you're a household name. It
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
work like
people always like that. I mean, that's always the way to go because nobody would listen to me or Jeff. Nobody would listen to me. Nobody would follow me on my timeline because half the timeline on Twitter's for a couple things. Getting information from other people, entertainment, talking smack, and having fun. That's what Twitter is useful out there. There's a lot of people that just come into the game. Hey, I like this or like that. You have to be tried and true throughout it because you can spot a phony from a million miles away. The hardest thing to do in this business, especially with Twitter, and Jeff and I will say it all the time, is like to come on and be genuine when you come out. When you see me or Jeff or you hear me or Jeff, you know it's coming from the proper places. We are convicted in our thoughts, and that's why people like us. If you came to me and I'm just saying every week, like, I'm wishy-washy on the Eagles or I'm wishy-washy on this game. No, we like to put the opinions out there and stay true. I'm a hater in a lot of aspects out there, but if you tell me good points, I will listen. The thing that me and Jeff like the most is when the uneducated comments or uneducated Twitter comments come in where they just don't see it as clearly. That's what makes it fun. That's what we're here for. We come on every day and come on camera. You know us, man. It's great. It's a great run.
One of the great joys I've had was putting $4,500 into $100 bettors' pockets this winter. Do that for yourself. If you want to be good, do it. It's a whole lot better when you do it yourself. You don't need me to put you on. Do it yourself. Because at the end of the day, you got to put the bets in. You got to pay the piper. I'm not going to pay them for you. No one else is either. You don't need me to put you on. If you're good enough, you'll be put on your own. We should do that, Donnie. A little competition. Quickly, before we get out of here, Donnie, couple props. Don't worry about it. Lay the wood. Under 2.5 Big 12 players drafted in the first round. There's only going to be one, maybe two. If you can find it, 5 dimes. Vita Vea is drafted before Marcus Davenport, -120. That's a lock. Couple others. I'm also on QBs drafted in the first round under 5.5. There's not going to be 6. No possible way. If Mason Rudolph gets drafted in the first round, I will never put out another mock draft. And I will continue to provide more winners throughout the day. Join us tonight. Make sure when you watch the NFL draft, make sure you watch it with SBRforum.com. Donnie Rightside and I will be on live for the NFL draft. Make sure you join us for that. Thanks to Johan for producing. Donnie, fun show today. Very enjoyable. Check out Twitter. I'll put some Europa League picks out and draft picks as well. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.